Good evening, Speed Gaming. I am Darkman EX. I'm going to be joined in the booth by Angry Canuck. We got a great match going on tonight, the first of three, if I'm not mistaken, between One Fine Day and SaintVonJester, as we enter into the first round of the bracket stages for the spring tournament. Angry, you here with me? What's going on?
Oh, not too much. Just here to take in some fine Final Fantasy action tonight.
Fine indeed. Looks like we have an interesting selection of characters for this today. From the looks of things, the fighter is both the captain and the first mate, so it's a fourth double fighter situation. Looks like because of that, and without the black mages around, both teams have decided to select a double to complement their double fighter. I'm not sure if that was just arranged, or if that was, arranged ahead of time between the two of them, if they want to run the same parties, or if this is just how they both selected. I know if it was me, faced with a double fighter party, I'd probably pick two red mages. You angry?
Yeah, I'd start out with two red mages, but if you find something like Fade at level 1 or Life 2 at level 1 and a red mage can't learn it, I think it'd be a quick reroll to take a white mage to go with it, though.
That's a good point. Good suggestion right there. I mean, that's kind of one of those things. The only time you really want to re-roll is at the level 1, because level 2 can be just about anywhere with the talent shuffle on, and it's like, at a certain point you've spent enough time with your party, commit to it, or, or you're just going to constantly re-roll, and that's just wasting time at that point. Just about... Yes?
Yeah, if you don't re-roll by the 3-minute mark, you're stuck with what you got.
Totally. I agree with that 100%. So we should be just about ready to release the runners anytime they're ready. Hangry, I know you're in charge of that, so you'll give me the word right there, and I will just keep chatting. So, if you're unfamiliar with how this set of flags is going to be worked, we're still on the Sail the High Seas tournament right here. The runners are going to be able to find a ship fairly early, get out of Circle C very early, earlier than you're probably used to from this. And once they can get out of the high seas, they're going to have all kinds of extra places they can go, because extended open progression is on. That means there are going to be extra docks around for them to sail to, new towns to go to. It's going to be a wide open world for them once they find that ship. Angry, we ready to go?
Yep, the floodgates are open. They should be going any second now.
Cool. So we've got a party of Dans, so anyone can die there, versus a party of Jeans over on SaintVonJester's side. And the second they start rolling, we'll see whether or not this double fighter, double red mage party is a party worth having. I see we're joined in the chat right now by Danglu and by Ale Markin. Good to see both of you guys joining us for this first match of 3 between One Fine Day and SaintVonJester. It promises to be quite a good one, because these are both very good runners. Angry, what are you looking for in this match today?
A hard seed, no fade, no nuke, no weapons. A real slobber knocker of a match.
Well, so far you're getting your wish, because that white magic wasn't great. I think the best we saw there was Heal 2, but Quad X, Temper, and Fire 3 in the black magic shop. That's a pretty stacked little deck right there for your first level warriors. I think they're going to be perfectly happy with that red mage match. Cheap tents, decently priced cabins. Softs are a tad expensive, but overall this is a good starting town for our players. Short of those sabers being about the best weapon they're going to find in a level of white magic, but honestly, when you're looking at, only red mages and white mages going to be available, I wouldn't, honestly, with a good black magic stat like that, wouldn't want to see a lot of good white magic at level 1.
Well, it looks like One Fine Day is going to be the first person to enter TOF, or TOF, I should say.
It's the same place when you look at it long term. I mean, you're going to
I don't want to give away spoilers, though. Spoiler alert.
Spoilers for an almost 40-year-old game, guys. Sorry.
Even though we've been at this, 6 weeks? It's still spoilers.
I know, right. Still spoilers. Don't tell them about Astos.
Nothing but a bunch of money in the chest here.
Yeah, money, which is nice at level 1. Certainly something nice that they're going to want to see, because money is at a premium when you're this early in the game, but it's always that thing, when you see only money in the early chest, you always feel just that little pang at disappointment. So One Fine Day is already making it up to Garland, having explored the chests. Blasting away and Garland goes down. Simple fight, doesn't seem like Garland had much to worry about there. King comes in with the crown, gives the crown right off of his head. And Sarah has the crystal, which makes an obvious and immediate turn-in over to Matoya right around the way, so I think it's pretty clear where they're going to go from here.
Yeah, that getting the crystal there just took West out of the equation right there. It's going north now.
Ooh, pro rings are nice and cheap. I hadn't seen that before. I don't think they actually hit the armor shop before this. Pro rings at Corneria for less than $4,000. That's a quick pickup.
Yeah, that's a really nice pickup, but I'm not sure if I would have wasted the money just yet. I think I would have waited to see what Provoca had in case it had some good level 2 stuff.
Well, with the amount of money they had, I can't blame them for picking up at least one. One, I think, would have been an obvious buy, because with the amount of death magic that can be out there, having one before you have to go into Marsh or Ice or wherever it is they decide to go from here, depending on what the crystal turns into, you're ensured that one of your party members should be able to survive at least a few of the early attacks that come their way.
Oh, for sure. I mean, you never know what you're going to get here. I mean, I don't mean to quote movies or anything, but you could have wolves with, you know, glare or whatever, because anything could have everything.
We're gonna go talk to that nice little witch, see what she has for us. Or, okay, raid her retirement fund first. Copper Gauntlet, 3 gold, 7,500 gold, there it was. And the chime!
Hey, Sar, how you doing?
Personally, I like getting the chime this early. I know I'm a tad crazy in that respect, but I am always a big fan of the ill-advised Sky Palace play. If you can get the chime, you can go check out the bottom. Hopefully we find the cube, they can go do the top and make Tia the first boss they kill.
Well, you got Quad X, and you got Break. Or did you get Break? I can't remember now.
I didn't see Brack. Fire 3, Temper, and Quad X, but Quad X and Fire 3 is going to carry them through a lot of stuff. Germadusas, vampires, there's a lot of stuff that's going to die to that Fire 3. It's a good spell to have right here. And Elfland has moved up the coast over to Provoca. There's your Brack.
Called it.
So there you go. Tia's not going to be a problem at all at this point. Heal 3, Harm 4, Mute. I like those spells.
Yeah, so far it's working out with the 2 red mages, because there's really been nothing strong in the white selection yet.
Yeah, I'd probably pick up that Heal 3, and I'd go with the other spells they have. I completely missed what was even there in Magic. White Magic, he went so fast.
Nothing you wanted to know about.
Yeah, and I think Saber was about the best level 4 black there, so level 4 is a little weak. Houses are cheap at about 1,200. I've seen them way worse. Heal pots, though, at 56 is a tad expensive.
Yeah, but you got cheap cabins, I mean, you can't go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, that's almost as cheap as the 10ths were, so that's nothing to complain about there.
Yeah, that'll get you a long ways if you happen to find a good run in the encounter table somewhere along the way.
57 grand cat claws. I somehow doubt... Well, we don't have a black mage, so I really doubt anyone's going to be buying those. You know, I have played so many seeds with Tavern mode on now, I keep expecting people to check what's over at the pub. There's no pubs in this version. I need to stop looking for it.
Did onefineday rob Matoya yet?
I'm not certain.
It's awful low on cash, unless he bought some houses and I wasn't paying attention, which is perfectly possible. Well,
bear in mind, he's at least 7 grand shy in comparison to SaintVonJester, because he went and bought 2 pro rings. SaintVonJester did not.
I'm sorry, Lamp wasn't level 4 white, so there is something of moderate importance.
Best spell in the game, had to have Lamp. And then rob the dwarves for $1,000 and the cap. Cap, you know, best head armor in the game if, you know, you're starting out and you don't know of any other head armor in the game at all.
I've written caps.
I'm only a little bitter about that seed I ran that was Melman Treasures. Oh, there's our ship. Melman Treasures, and I got all caps. That was awful.
I've written caps to the end of the game before.
Well, if you don't have a ribbon and you have mages, the cap is a nice piece of armor to put on there. One fine day takes out the kindly old king who was secretly Astos all along. Not a spoiler anymore. Gets his party up to level 5, while SaintVonJester is only a few steps behind. Gonna take care of the dwarven treasures and move his way down to this castle because really, this whole map just laid itself out nicely for us to turn in all our treasures and get moving on that ship ASAP.
Looks like One Fine Day knows that his ship is going to be up above here and not down Elfland.
That's...
Sucker! It's down Elfland!
It is important to know where your ship is going to go based on where you're at. And it's something I forget, but clearly One Fine Day forgot as well, because I'm pretty sure that ship is over at Elfland.
Yeah, I believe the only time it's not at Elfland is if you get it in the Ice Cave or at a Matoya. Pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you get it in Canaria, it's going to be in Canaria. If you get it at the Dwarves, it parks over at their dock. And then if you get it at Motoya, it pops by her dock. Obviously, Provoca gets it at Provoca, and everywhere else south of there goes directly to the Elfland dock, I think.
42k gold Cheerios.
Those are kind of expensive, but part of a balanced diet. Crunchy, but flavorful.
I've been calling them Cheerios for however long this game has been out.
Why did One Fine Day go into the castle and then just leave from Piercing Mountain? He may have thought that he had the key, or the herb, realized he didn't actually have any business to go there, or he may have just gotten used to entrance shuffle, which a lot of us have. Want to check what it was, and they remembered, oh right, entrances aren't shuffled. So.
Yeah, but Aylmer can put out a good point there. The NPCs are shuffled. So the Elf Prince might not be next to or the Elf Prince Herb Healer might not be next to the Elf Prince.
Oh, we have the NPC shuffle today, do we?
Yes, we do in these flags, so it could be Bahamut looking over the Elf King, which I'd sleep too.
I love having NPC shuffle on. I know it annoys so many people, but it delights me to know when to see, like, Bahamut hanging out at Elf Cave, or the Elf Herb guy up in Cardia telling you the prince is awakened, and yet you have to travel half the globe to actually see it. Like, he's psychic! Oh! You were gonna say, I think Sayhags have cremate.
Looks like One Fine Day is gonna make the on-rack play.
I think it's a good play. I mean, there's a dock there, you should check it. It's just far enough out of the way that I don't think SaintVonJester would immediately think to do it, so it's one of those gambles to see what might be over there. I like it. I think it's a good idea.
I wonder why SaintVonJester's going to Marsh. Isn't only Keylock incentivized in this round?
I think you might be right. I think they turned off the early Marsh ones, so maybe he's just doing a gamble to try and see what might be down here. There are a lot of chests.
Yeah, but do you really want to double dip Marsh? I don't want to single dip this place.
Yeah. Oh, so gross. So yeah, we have a very strong route divergence here, as One Fine Day is heading over to the on-rack area to see what on-rack has become, which is on-rack. Classic on-rack.
Ooh, loot for 21k.
That's actually not a bad price for a key item at a late location like this, and it's good to know where it's at. And honestly, I really like knowing that the shop item is something like the loot. An item I don't need to pick up to clear the game, but I'll just need it right before I go to Topher. Since it's out of the way, don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, I like One Fine Day's reasoning of town checking first, because there is still 2 key items out there you can get, and one of them may be the canoe. And if one of them is the canoe, well, then the world's your oyster then.
Yeah, I gotta think SaintVonJester's play is making a gamble here for Marsh, if, of course, he hasn't just forgotten that Marsh is incentivizing.
Get making those scum some glasses, they're squinting.
The lights are just very bright here, they're not used to it. I would think he's probably coming over to the Marsh Cave to search for the airship, the floater, or maybe the canoe, and just taking a gamble that One Fine Day isn't going to do the same thing, and he's hoping that something may have turned up here because the game wants to put it early.
Well, given the chime and the ship, I don't know. I think after I check the towns, I think I'd make the Mirage Tower dive just to get the chest, because there's a bigger density there, but there's a defense sword.
Defense sword is a lovely find, and silver armor's nice because now you don't have to buy it. It's good defense for the knight. It's not exactly cheap normally when you find it. Now your knight's nicely protected.
I probably would have put that on one of the red mages though, because it's only slightly higher value than the iron. I think it's only maybe 1 or 2 absorb points more.
And they're able to equip it?
Red mages can equip silver armor, yes.
That's a good factoid I didn't know. Learn something new every day right here in Final Fantasy Randomizer.
Someone clipped that Bane. I think you're in the wrong place, Midge.
I didn't see a Bane cast, so I don't know anything about that. But yeah, Amazing Ampharos. If there's Key and Marsh, for example, this playthrough of SaintVonJester would be amazing. I guess we're really going to know exactly what he was expecting is down here when he opens up the chest, and potentially doesn't find anything in this, what's normally key lock, or incentivized chest. But the incentivized chest is a floater, so SaintVonJester's play paid out. That is massive right there.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm gonna double check and make sure that the Marsh Cave is not incentivized, because I was pretty sure that wasn't.
I'm pretty sure it was just a key lock too, but if that's just loose, oh my crap, the advantage Saint has now.
I know, that's a massive jump right there for him. Yeah, everyone, we're double checking right now to make sure that that was actually loose, because that's a weird place for a non-incentivized item.
Well, the flags actually were probably set correctly, because we did have the 2 fighters.
Yeah.
Were
incentivized characters, 1 walked the plank, everything else seems to be lining up. That's just massive coincidence that that particular item was in that chest. But I double checked the seed, and Marsh is not incentivized, so that's a floater in an unincentivized spot. I think that's going to be a little while before One Fine Day even thinks to make that move.
Oh yeah, One Fine Day ain't going there till he absolutely has to, because he knows that chest ain't incentivized. And without the key, why would you double dip? But this was a big gamble by SaintVonJester that paid off royally.
Huge. Absolutely huge. That's the kind of move you need to make if you think that you're potentially going to be behind another racer like One Fine Day, because One Fine Day has been in a lot of tournaments. He's really good at what he does. SaintVonJester is good, but he just barely squeaked into the tournament, having won his slot from the Last Chance qualifier, and then squeaked through again at the... I think he got 3rd place in the play-in race. So he did a good job making it here, and he knows that he needs to make big gambles once in a while. This is only going to encourage that, because that was huge.
Question in chat, there was no random gentleman agreement between these two. They just picked the same party just to pick the party, because I think this is pretty much the cookie cutter party you're going to see.
Yeah, I think for this week, with 2 fighters, 2 red mages, unless you have people like, for instance, Falconic FF, who likes to come into weird gentleman agreements with the people he plays and do really strange parties just for the heck of it. And something like this, where you have 2 fighters forced by default and no black mage, the double red mage just seems like an automatic bet.
Looks like One Fine Day is gonna clear out the earth here, I think.
Well, not knowing that Marsh has the floater, this is a move I'd make. He doesn't have the cube yet, he doesn't know where the cube might be. The bet would be that somewhere on these first 2 floors of Earth there's going to be a key item. In theory, because he doesn't have a canoe, I like the play, it's just that now that we know what's at Marsh Cave, it's harder to make that gamble. However, he gets a bit of payoff with that white shirt, that's a nice find. It's far enough out of the way that I would bet that if SVJ is in go mode, he wouldn't get it.
Well, I'm tempted to think One Fine Day ain't going down the Marsh till he has the key, so if this key is really buried somewhere,
well, it's not
going
with
to be...
Sarda. Sarda has the ribbon, so there's a good chance that key's floating out there somewhere still. And SaintVonJester continues his move around the world, checking all the locations that One Fine Day, of course, has already done. Finds Lupo Land over at the Old Melman spot. And of course, now that he has the airship, he's going to be able to do things like go check Cardia, go check Gaia, maybe even wander over to where Lufane was, find out what's over there. The world is his oyster right now.
Yeah, because right now he's looking for Provoca and Crescent Lake, because there's 2 free key items, basically.
Chat's discussing the party they'd make with a 2-fighter party composition. And we're getting a lot of suggestions of things like Black Mage, White Mage. Unfortunately, Black Mage is banned in this party, so Red Mage is your best bet. And if you're gonna take one Red Mage, why not take two?
SaintVonJester has found Crescent Lake, but he's not going to check the confused old men.
That's confusing. I'm confused along with the confused men in that confusing decision.
If I had a beard and a hat, I'd be walking around my room confused at this present time.
It's pretty easy. Just get yourself some, like, cotton and some, one of those, like, strips of construction paper. It's an easy stage costume. Everyone can cosplay.
Oh, I see what's going on here. Now I know why he didn't check. And now I know I won't.
What's going on?
No early items.
Oh,
You need
that's
Lich
right.
dead to get the
They gotta
canoe.
go kill Lich. Yeah, that's one of those things that we're so not used to at this point because the conveniences are always on. If you go to the Final Fantasy Randomizer website and check it out, like by default, free Sage item, free Sarda item, early ordeals are all automatically turned on. We're not used to actually having to go kill Lich first before we can get the item out of the Sages, but that's a requirement here.
Well, it's funny, Sarda gave something up without having the vampire killed.
Yeah, because free Sarda is still on. It was. I
Oh,
think
is it? Okay.
Yeah, they just want to. These flags are designed to encourage us to go to Earth a little earlier this time around. So they put the free Sarda on, but turn free Sages off, so that we want to go and fight Lich, because so often.
Free canoe.
Yep, loose. That's one of our. I think
That's
it's
the second of our loose items.
Are we at 2 or are we at 3 loose items this week?
I believe it's only 2 still.
Well, if it's 2, that's both loose items, and SaintVonJester has got to be breathing a sigh of relief. And he should already know, or will soon find out, what the shop item is, so he is going to be up on the knowledge game at that point. If I was in his shoes, I would just go hit the other incentivized locations I can, try and get my rod, go do Earth, get that out of the way, and move on with my life, because you're just a couple steps away from go mode at that point.
Well, yeah, now he's got the waterfall open, ordeals open, so there's 2 more incentivized locations. He still hasn't found Provoca yet, so really, I mean, if you find the rod in any of those 3 locations, you can get the Earth out of the way and you're pretty well go mode early.
Now he sees the loot, now he knows it's there. Not gonna go do the waterfall yet, but he may be concerned about where his levels are at, and he just wants to check the other towns first. I can't necessarily blame that play. Plus, this is the area that basically feeds into Peninsula of Power. It's much easier to take fights here and get your levels up before you go do waterfall.
Yeah, he's looking for Provoca. He knows where it's at now. He wants that free key item out of Provoca.
It's a good plan. And the monsters here, if you decide you actually want to fight them, are worth a decent experience without necessarily being too hard. Fire 3 is good against a lot of them.
Yeah, Fire Tree will take care of the zombies and stuff, but the giants are weak to ice, so there's not really a lot you have that can damage them at the moment.
And Provoca, as we guessed. As we surmised.
Well,
The
it
white
had to
magic
be.
here. Yeah. Wall's not a bad spell to have, and, you know, level 2 ruse for your fighters if you decide to come back, although that's a long walk to make for fighter magic at that point. But once they're upgraded to knights, there's a possibility. Level 2 nuke and fast, those are huge. Those are great spells to have.
Yeah, he's pretty much, he's good and set for spells now if he can find Temper, or Warp, or Exit.
Temper's at level 1. We're just really looking for warp or exit at this point. But they're not going to be in the first 4 slots. I don't recall... Have we found Melmond?
Yeah, Melman we've found.
Did they check the magic shops? Because I don't recall them doing that.
No.
Okay.
And he walked in, he checked to see what character was there, and he walked away.
Fair enough. I mean, good knowledge play right there. And One Fine Day doesn't go and see the Bat Party Room. I am disappointed. Bat Party Room doesn't get nearly enough love.
Looks like Bicky was thinking about turning his ship into a submarine there, because he had some oxy ales, so...
Well, once you've conquered the high seas, shouldn't you go with the undersea at that point? I can see that play. It's all water-based for them.
Looks like One Fine Day is going to come up and to the vampire.
Hope that the chest there has the rod so we can continue onwards. Otherwise, this wasn't much of a play here. I mean, aside from that white shirt, I didn't really see him get a lot out of here of consequence.
No, he didn't, and now he's gonna walk out. I'm just hoping he doesn't think I'm just hoping he's not thinking he had to come in here to get something from Sarda.
That is true, depending upon... Well, but he doesn't have the ruby, so he still couldn't check on Sarda even if he had to.
True that.
Yeah, because with the extended open progression map edits on, for those that don't know, the Titan is blocking his tunnel in such a way that no matter which side you try to come at it from, you can't get past him. So those 4 chests in the Titan's Trove are always ruby required if you want to check them. Meanwhile, SaintVonJester finds the news that Catmen have some heat. They're packing heat, they're a little spicy.
And Telephone, I actually agree with you, because I remember when I was a kid, I was playing this game, I had a good save, I was right happy, I pushed power, went away, come back 2 hours later, pushed power, it was gone. I was so disappointed.
I had my game get wiped out by a bad NES as well. It's a gut punch when that happens. But it's the thing with the emulator, as long as you wait a couple seconds, you're usually pretty safe. It's the problem of if you do it too quickly, as we saw at least once in the tournament, you can get your save file wiped, and then that's all she wrote at that point.
It's like One Fine Day is taken to the seas now, so looks like he's not even heading towards Marsh, so he's still gonna be in a little bit behind here. Yeah. Well, a lot behind. The longer he puts off Marsh, the more SaintVonJester gets it.
And he didn't walk all the stuff back out, so he no longer has that white shirt. He found nothing of use in Earth and just let it all go away.
Not a bad plan. I mean, he knows where the white shirt is now. When he's go-moding Earth, he can pick it up if he wants. It's only a quick 2-second jaunt.
And you are correct. That is one bit of knowledge he has that SaintVonJester does not. He knows the white shirt is there, and I would be surprised when SaintVonJester actually makes it to Earth if he checks that, because he doesn't really need check chests now. It's just all he's really looking for is the items he needs to equip his party, and then he's moving on with his life.
Yeah, once he finds a good endgame sword, and if he gets like a couple of ribbons, I can't see him checking too many more chests. And by good endgame sword, I mean the Mazamun or the Excal.
I'm not getting into that discussion. I can see it going either way. I mean, it's one of those things where SaintVonJester also has the defense sword, so he's at least got a quote-unquote endgame sword, although as far as like actually using it in combat, defense isn't the strongest. While we see SaintVonJester getting the incentivized item in ordeals is the adamant.
Plus, you need the class change to use the defense sword, actually.
True. But you'd need the class change to use the Excal also. The only one you don't need it for is the Nosfit. Of the 4 or 5 that we're talking that are endgame, quote unquote.
Sun Sword too.
Yeah.
You can go Sun Sword without class change.
Depends on who you talk to about whether or not that's endgame, but that's one of those ones that you can put a couple charges on and it's not a bad sword to have.
Looks like One Fine Day is making the Mirage play.
It's the play I would have made, and I think it's the one you probably would have made as well at this point.
It's definitely, I definitely would not have went to Marsh like SaintVonJester did. I can 100% say I would never touch Marsh till I had the key, so I would lose this race automatically.
This particular seed is not Canuck friendly.
No, this is very Canuck unfriendly.
The anti-Canadian seed.
Looks like SaintVonJester's gonna turn that adamant in, and let's see what's made out of adamant today. Ooh, an opal bracelet made out of adamant. That's interesting.
That's curious. I guess it's opal in quotation marks then?
You want to do those air quotation marks? Opal bracelet?
Opal. Beardy, thanks, Swordsmith. You always amuse me.
Looks like SaintVon.
You were gonna say?
Looks like SVJ is hitting Volcano. Is Volcano incentivized? I believe it is, isn't it?
No, only ordeals and one other that I had open just a second ago. It's two incentivized locations instead of the 3 we had before.
So ordeals and Marsh locked.
Yeah, which may actually... Oh yeah, Marsh locked was one of them. So I think we still are at 2 key because the Marsh became Marsh locked.
Pretty sure Ice is still incentivized, though.
That's the other one. The one that wasn't occurring to me.
So there's 3 in soul. It could, the only way it would push a 3rd loose item is if someone's got a cabin.
Exactly. Which, I would be worried about doing a play like Volcano at this point until I knew from the robot whether or not they were holding an incentivized item or not. Mage Staff is a nice find, got that in the armory for SVJ.
Pyronex is saying there is 3 loose. Ooh, Grey Worms with Blaze. That's gonna suck.
Because the Opal Cheerio was added to the incentivized pool and we have the exact same number of locations as we had in Swiss, that's gonna add a 3rd key item. So, I hate SaintVonJester's play just a little less here, though.
And SaintVonJester found the X-Cal. But it's not 420, so I don't know what those Grey Worms were up to.
Talthon, it's the Opal Bracelet that's going to be in the incentive pool, and yeah, Beardy McSwordsmith turned the Adamant into air quotes Opal Bracelet.
And we got a Bane Sword too, so that's a pretty stacked armory right there.
The game clincher.
And he's gonna have to go back for it. Because Peds need glasses too.
The Peds were having none of that. But he knows there's some good stuff in there, even though he's walking past it. I'd go back for that Bane Sword eventually. That's a good sword to have. We've seen it win more than a few games here at this point. Squatchameel, thank you for the subscribe. We appreciate it.
So there's still 1 loose floating around out there now.
Apparently. But bear in mind, that loose one could be... Since we've already found the ribbon, that loose one could still be the ruby among all the ones. So yeah, I would want to try and get as many of the incentivized locations like Waterfall out of the way right now. I like going to Volcano when you have the opportunity and you get some levels and some good treasure, but this one feels like there's so like doing these dungeons that are spread out like this. I would hate to do this right now when I'm this close to go mode. I'd much prefer just going and getting my incentivized locations out of the way so I have peace of mind, you know?
But the thing is now, he's gonna have to triple dip this, because I'm not sure if he can take Lich at these levels.
Carry?
Carry, yeah, sorry.
You're good. He did get a silver bracelet. His armor situation is coming into effect. It's getting nice here. But you are right. Because...
Unrunnable Grey Worms that have Blaze.
That hurts. Considering the fact that his fighters don't have a ton of health, I might be with you on this. The triple dip on carry hurts. But, on the flip side, he's got 2 fighters, 2 red mages. Maybe you Dan one of the fighters and one of the red mages, power up the other 2, and try and take out carry that way.
Problem solved. Power Bonk found.
Power Bonk's gonna do the trick. Who worries about that now? He's got good armor, get a few levels under your belt. I think you're good to go for carry.
He's got fast, Power Bonk. Even with an Ice Sword, you can take carry out.
Yeah, carry's looking a lot less of an issue at this point.
Well, One Fine Day is out of Mirage, didn't find anything good in there. I wonder how long it's going to take him to go to Marsh. He's going to have to go soon.
Well, he can't get to Ordeals. He can't get to Waterfall. Can't do Volcano, can't do Ice. Nothing in Earth. I'm pretty certain at this point Marsh is one of the last plays he has. Yeah, because he can't even get over to Bicky to get the Oxio so he could do Onrack. I think he's pretty much stuffed at this point until he goes to Marsh.
He's gonna find that floater in the chest, and I can just imagine what will be going on his stream if we had his stream up with his webcam.
Yeah, he's gonna be making some nasty faces, saying some sweet vocabulary, kicking himself just a little, maybe take a quick moment, and then he's gonna move on with his life because that's the only thing he can do. But at this point, he's gotten some good clearing out, and depending upon what SVJ has, it might not be that big a deal. Yeah, you can't park there yet. One fine day, you don't have the canoe.
I think we got an Agama grind going here.
That's what I do.
Which would be a bad mistake. I wouldn't do it. You gotta save your resources for carry at this point in time.
Depends. Well, it's already over, so. I would probably have gone and tried to get 5 or 6 levels on it. I mean, your fighters aren't too bad, and the Agamas didn't seem that terrible. I wouldn't have burned a ton of resources on it, but I would have gained a few levels off of it.
I would not feel safe taking carry on at this point in time.
I like my ill-advised plays.
Bulls with fog too?
And they're unrunnable. They're lovely to fight.
Well, I guess we're gonna see if he's actually gonna go at... Oh, and another Grey Worm that could wipe him out with Blaze.
Amazing Ambrose is informing us that the Agamas actually seem fairly beefy, so yeah, at this point, don't do too big a grind.
Grey Worms with Dark too.
And they can take more than one nuke and not die. That's not a fun encounter.
And one fine day is finally going to Marsh, where he's gonna get the good/bad news.
The mediocre news, depending upon how you look at it.
Well, I'm a glass half empty type of guy, so I'd probably be mad.
The Red D doesn't seem to have too much absorb, but he has a lot of evade, so I wouldn't do a grind here either. Even though it doesn't seem like he can hit for anything. Nothing much in the Red D chest. And now the big decision, does SaintVonJester risk it? Aside from... Honestly, there's not really much of anything he got.
If Carry doesn't hit very hard, he'll be okay. But if Carry's coming out swiping for like 400 or 500, I can't see this fight going well for him. And he's got to put Gene down. He can't leave Gene in the top slot.
Well, he did. Well, which Gene? They're all Gene.
Mean Gene.
Well, yeah, but he did get the power bonk, and takes a nasty power bonk from Carry. I could see him, and throws a defense order. That's a good call. I could see this as a test play. If nothing else, you're here. If you can walk that power bonk out, great. If you can't, oh well. But it's... And there goes that fight.
Game over.
Yeah.
He's got one nuke left on one character.
Yeah.
And
one hit,
you're not
damage.
gonna go far with fast on it. He doesn't have fast either. He's got one.
And he didn't pick up Quad X at level 1, or wherever it was. So, yeah, that's... Or she can just not have any health.
Good thing she didn't have too much health.
Yeah, because that was looking a little desperate there. Gets his first orb lit at 34 minutes, almost exactly, and then flies off, probably to go revive Gene, of the 4 Genes.
And one fine day is about to get his floater. Now, will he check the rest, or will he just leave?
Well, something stoned one of his 4 Dans there. And Gargoyles clearly have Stun Touch.
You're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah. That's what makes SVJ's play down here earlier so incredible.
If you enter Marsh, you're gonna have a bad time.
And unfortunately, One Fine Day hasn't really been picking up all that much in the way of levels, because he was going into dungeons, checking them out, and then exiting without actually saving anything. So it's a lot of stuff that he explored, but not a lot of progress made.
Yeah.
Werewolves, by the way, also have Stun Touch.
Yeah, SaintVonJester has a hefty lead now.
Yeah. It's hard to put an exact number on it, but I'd say it's probably, especially with that carry kill he just got, close to maybe 15 minutes, maybe?
He's going back into the armory to get what he missed. And he might have... And probably check the rest of the chests in this room, too, yeah. Because with that third loose...
Zigzag play. You don't see a lot of people take that zigzag pathway right there.
And one fine day gets his floater, and he is probably not happy, but...
It's a mixed feeling when you get into a situation like that. And there's a gold bracelet there that I don't think SaintVonJester picked up, because he found his floater and immediately was like, I need to get out of here.
Plus, one SaintVonJester, they have to come back here anyway, right? Because the key lock is incentivized. Well, maybe. It depends. It could be the tail. They don't really need the tail.
Could be tail or ruby. Now, with a double knight party, the tail is nice, because I know they already have an opal armor that they're going to want to equip on one of the 2 guys. And most of the endgame swords are class change required. But if they don't get the tail, they're not going to be completely sad.
Yeah, but like you were saying, I think with a 2-fighter party, the tail would almost be mandatory. Because the dragon armor, the Aegis shield, none of that stuff can be equipped without class change.
Yeah, you don't really feel good going into Kraken 2, Tiamat 2, Chaos, with the ice armor equipped, for example. It's not bad, but it's mid-tier armor, and you really want them to be able to put on your best suits.
And if they don't find the Mazza, they're going in swiping with ice swords. Do you feel safe going down TOFR with ice swords?
Not even with the Sun Sword, but that's why I'm not onefineday or SaintVonJester. I know they can make it work, especially if they get that power bonk like SaintVonJester has, but you still don't feel great about it.
And onefineday is at a Marsh, and we can only assume he is going to go straight for that airship, and then he is going to start his town checks.
And I have to think that we're going to see that one Dan be stoned for quite some time, because right now he's running a safe 3-man party that he can revive anytime he wants without it costing him any magic.
Looks like SaintVonJester's going to finish clearing out this armory, and then we'll see where he goes next. I have a feeling he's probably going to go to ice, because it's nearby.
It's how fun. I would probably agree with you. If Tail is the last item and it's in Keylock Marsh, the likelihood of them going to get it is very small. But I guess at that point, probably Canuck, it depends on how Topher turns out. Because if Topher's kind, Tail's not needed. If Topher's unkind, Tail's needed.
I think if it was me, and I didn't find the Mazmoon, and the tail, and I had the X-Cal and the tail, I knew the tail was in Marsh, I would dive quickly to get it. You do have the levels, Marsh shouldn't pose much of a problem, and then you at least should have an endgame sword. I would not dip TOFR on an ice sword, even with a power bomb.
Yeah, and the only endgame item they found so far is the opal armor, which is good. It's good, it's great defense, don't get me wrong. I'm not sure one item alone is worth a long dive for the tail, but the second they get a second item, it feels absolutely compulsory for me at that point.
Well, if they don't get the tail, they're basically walking into Topher with probably iron armor at best.
Yeah, well...
And if Kraken decides to take a crack at you and you're wearing iron armor, you're going down, son.
Ice armor is the equivalent of silver, if I'm not mistaken, and that's about the best they're going to get, is either silvers or like an ice or a flame armor. And I still wouldn't feel great about that, but...
No, Kraken would still cut that armor in half and then cut you in half.
But there's also a question of... I mean, I guess it partially depends on which player we're talking about. And obviously this is a moot point if the tail shows up, but... For instance, if onefineday ends up at the end game, knows the tail's in Keylock Marsh, I could see him feeling behind like he is, taking a risk on just doing Topher without.
Oh, now we have SaintVonJester doing the ice play, and yes, Tal, I agree. Kraken will cut you in half, true dragon armor too.
Kraken's Kraken. You get his stats raised high enough, he's gonna cut through you no matter what you're doing. He can backhand you into next Tuesday if he wants.
I like when he fasts himself, and then it's like, yeah, you're kind of in trouble.
It's like he's toying with you at that point. You know I'm gonna hit you, but let's take a moment to make it really nasty.
Looks like SaintVonJester is either taking this fight or it was unrunnable. I didn't quite see. Meanwhile, onefineday has found Provoca. So he's going to pick up a few spells for his red mages, and he's going to make his way towards B.
Oof. And the images have glare, which is fun to see. One of his 4 genes is now kissing ground. I think, honestly, Angry Canuck, what's going on is he's running with all but one of his party members, and he's burning fire 3 charges on it just in case he can't run.
Yeah, I don't know if Gene the Green is going to be coming back up.
Yeah, with the party comp they have and the equipment that they're looking at right now, 3-man party sounds good. Get your charges up, get your experience going, get your party set to roll.
Not just that, if you don't have a tail, you're better off at 1 fighter than 2, because you're possibly only going to have 1 endgame sword, the Mazmoon, anyway. So you might as well buff that fighter to the hills and let him go.
Yeah, you want that magic not the magic, you want that experience to make them better. You want something to give you an edge.
The only way you'd keep your 2 fighters up is if you found the tail and you found all the good stuff. Other than that, I could see this being a 1 fighter, 2 red mage go-at her.
Yeah, I mean, certainly if you have Dragon Armor, Aegis Shield, Opal Armor, Opal Shield, you can do a nice little double build on your fighter and then just give each of them whatever good swords you have, and that's a fun thing to run. I love that so far.
But you gotta look at it this way too. You got all the stuff. Tail, you know where the tail's at. Do you risk going down Topher being a total slog, and then having to go get the tail anyway? Or do you just cut your losses and get the tail and make it easier?
That's the call we'll have to see. I mean, I know I would go for the tail no matter what. Because I'm a scrub. And I'm not as good at the game as these two are. I could see one of the two of them making the risky play though. But they are right now converging over at Ice Cave. SaintVonJester, of course, is a crystal up with more dungeons explored, but One Fine Day is quickly picking up speed after having fallen maybe about 15-20 minutes behind. SaintVonJester finds the Ice Sword in the Ice Cave, which seems not at all ironic. It's exactly where it should be. That's a good mid-tier sword for him, and it's going to give his fighter a nice little buff.
Yeah, Ice Swords ain't bad for a little mid-road game. Middle of the road game. But once you get more towards the end, you need something more high power.
You can take it through Kraken and Tiamat, but by that point you're really hoping you start finding something better. Tail and Vorpal or something like that.
Because the thing is, I mean, you could dip Topher with the Ice Sword, sure you could. But you're going to have to spend that many more rounds bonking, powering it up. You don't know what these fiends have. If these fiends have nuclear as their fourth skill, and you're there trying to bonk an Ice Sword, they might get to that nuclear. If you have the Mazmoon, they wouldn't get there.
Yeah, that's the thing to remember is, no matter how many times you bonk with the white shirt and the defense sword, you're still not going to be able to bonk away a nuclear.
And so there's the cube.
There is our cube, which is saying, hey, go to Sky Cave with all the great treasures there. That's going to be your next move. That's where I'd go so I can go find that rock.
Yeah, so at least he's not going to have to double dip Sky like One Fine Day is.
No, but it is going to allow One Fine Day to catch up just a little, as SaintVonJester is presumably going to go check all the chests that already checked.
Yeah, because they don't have exit or warp, so they have to make this little walkout twice, which isn't much of a problem with these levels. I mean, I think in the vanilla game you're supposed to get to ice around level 10 or something.
I know I didn't bother hitting ice until I was close to 15, 17 in that range, because, like, I had a really bad time at Marsh, no surprise there. Because it's Marsh Cave, and vanilla Marsh Cave is nasty. And then at that point I'm like, I am over-grinding for every place I'm supposed to go to.
Not good getting ambushed by wizards if they have something dangerous.
Typhon saying SVJ didn't check the top left chest in the eye room, that one of those mage chest areas right there. It's a possibility. He may have forgotten, he may have not cared, he may be risking it at this point. I know certainly I don't like leaving any chests unchecked, but...
And Talfontaine and Chatty's not even considering grinding the eye. I don't blame him. If I was SaintVonJester at this point, I don't think I'd stop for a grind, because you gotta go Sea, you gotta go Sky. Fight your way through, you're gonna get what levels you need.
Yeah, with the amount of experience available to you in Sky and the decent spells they have right this second, I wouldn't even bother. Sky's gonna get you all the levels you need for your mid-game. There's no reason to do a grind here. If you do think you need to do a grind, you just go wait to Topher and go, like, kill some Gerbaduses and Gas Dragons.
Honestly, the only reason why people do grinds in this game is the Black Belt. It's the only reason.
Black Belts are a nasty Topher. Those are the only reasons to even bother. Now, obviously, going into Topher with a seed comp like this, you're going to want to be, like, level 21, 22, but you take the fights in Sky, you take a decent amount of fights in Sea, which are often unrunnable anyway, you're going to get close to that level no matter what.
Yeah, it depends what sword you have, too, right? Because certain swords get different breakpoints at certain levels. So if you have a Mazmoon, you're going to want, like, a lower level than you would, say, if you had the Vorpal, because the Vorpal's breakpoint is at a higher level. So you gotta kind of take your swords into account when you look at your levels for Endgame.
If I remember correctly from what people have told me, it's level 24 for the Mazmoon, level 29 for the Vorpal. And but what we mean by breakpoints is that's the point where the fighter's hit percentage gets high enough that he starts getting extra hits at the next round. So, go from like 6 hits to 8 hits or whatever. That's what that does.
More hits, more chance to crit, more damage.
I know when I played the game the first time and my fighter went from doing like 1 hit to suddenly doing 2 or 3, I was overjoyed. I'm like, they cannot hit multiple times? That's amazing!
Oh, and One Fine Day running into the glare pack, but gets away.
I think he's on a second time through here.
Ooh, red bones with Brack. He's got that one ribbon to keep that red mage alive.
Yeah.
But can he walk it out with that one red mage alive?
I hope he has stone or soft potions. If he does, so. Unfortunately, no life spells discovered yet. They could be lurking at level 5 or level 6, which we have access to. But so far, no one's bothered to check to see where they're at. Oh wait, it can't be level 6 because we actually saw level 6, I think.
No, we didn't. You won't see anybody check Crescent Lake spells till Lich is dead. Because it'll just be on the way to get the items, so.
I usually will pop in because they're just right there. So if it's like, I'm walking past the edge of the sage, oh, but you're right, we haven't done the sages yet, so.
Yeah, so it looks like he's looking for the waterfall now, because he's looking for that rod. That rod is the stumbling point right now.
Now, I will note for players that are getting into this game, SaintVonJester didn't do this, we might see One Fine Day do it when he goes into the waterfall. If you cross on and off onto the land and sea or land and river tiles there, you don't get an encounter when you're going on or coming off of there. So you can avoid a few of these. SaintVonJester mostly walk along the river instead of bouncing on and off the corner pieces. You can save yourselves a couple steps and a couple of encounters possibly if you do the cut on, cut off.
Yeah, because if you do the cut on, cut off, it doesn't advance your step counter towards your next fight.
Little steps like that, little time saves, are the key to actually getting ahead in this game.
You'll notice the top runners do stuff like that. Like the Edgewords, the Crab Cakes, like anybody that's an upper tier, which is pretty much his whole bracket. Everybody in this bracket, to me, is upper tier player at the moment.
Yeah, if you made it in here, you're worth your salt at this point.
Yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. If you're in here, you're one of the top players in this game.
So it looks like One Fine Day is just about to finish his playthrough, but he only has the one red mage left.
But honestly, those little plays are what separate the good players from the great players.
They are. Just little improvements like that, remembering to walk along the wall that has a door in it because you can't get encounters on wall doors, things like that. They sped up even just my basic game at this point, and I know I went from like playing the game in 4 hours or so to getting it below 230 at this point for a normal seed. You got to be able to do things like that to get through the game. I'm guessing One Fine Day hasn't done his double loop at this point, even though I thought he had. So this is gonna take him a little while. SaintVonJester, meanwhile, gets one of the glory packs here for the Wiz Mummy packs. The more Wiz Mummies you get in it and the less birds you get, like he got 0 birds for this particular pack, the more experience this is worth. This is a great little grind spot right here. Take this fight once or twice in and out, and you can get a lot of experience off of them. Unfortunately, it looks as though the Wiz Mummies have a lot of health.
Yeah, but without warp or exit, I'd want to save my charges, my resources for the way out.
Oof. I hate seeing that, though. He burned like 3 fire 3s on there, got the herb from the robot, burned 3 fire 3s, and then ran away from it. At that point, I kind of felt like you were pot committed.
Yeah, I agree with you there. He probably should have kept going on that one, but did get a dragon sword, which was going to be a good little weapon for the red mages to use.
It's a decent mid-game item. It's not as good as some of the other swords he has, and he already has at least one ice sword here. But
looks like One Fine Day's in trouble here with some wizards.
Oof. Thankfully, he still had nuke charges, but that red mage is MVP right now, carrying through this whole dungeon. And he's gonna have a lot of levels on that red mage by the time he's done.
Nothing wrong with that.
Good amount of charges, good amount of health.
Oh, unrunnable cockatrice mummies.
Yeah, unlike that normal pack, the one with the cockatrices here are unrunnable, and that's not fun, especially when you only have one party member left.
I'm pretty sure I'd just be nuking my way out of this. There's no reason to be saving nuke. You're like 5 steps from the door.
Does he still have charges, though?
Yeah, I believe he did.
Okay. Oh! Huge hit from that mummy. He is lucky to survive that.
Heal before you walk a step.
Tyrannic saying he apparently doesn't have nuke charges at this point, so I can see why he was going with the ice or the black shirt to do his ice casts there.
Well, he made it out at least.
He did. All that mattered. You only need one. That's the Will Bloodworth way.
So now, one fine day, we'll see where he goes from here. He's got to feel behind not getting that airship to the lake. He's got to figure SaintVonJester made that Marsh player.
Meanwhile, SaintVonJester, as we're speaking of him, has made it out of the waterfall, going and checking the level 7 spells that are here. Expert, which I hate seeing at level 7. Doesn't even bother with the black magic. Okay, thanks for that.
Looks like he's going to go down Kraken way here.
He's got the Oxyale. Maybe he's going to go hit mermaids. Nope, gonna go do Kraken first.
I think he'll do the Kraken side first, and then if he doesn't get that third loose item, he might think about going mermaids. It's hard to say.
He got access to water before he had access to sky. It's one of those situations where I kind of feel like Tia 1 in the randomizer isn't anywhere near as bad as Kraken 1 in the randomizer, because with the mixed up skills and not having all the nasty spells like you cascade from the vanilla game, it's down to basically raw power and whatever they get, and Kraken 1 is much scarier in that respect.
No, SaintVonJester went straight in here from getting to her from the waterfall. He did not fly down to...
Well, he's had to have done the math, and he knows that there's going to be a third loose item right here, and since he's here, he's trying to do good routing and get through here and take care of Kraken, because it's on the way. He wants to build up whatever lead he thinks he might have from getting that early floater, assuming that no one else is going to be willing to go and do that crazy play, and get everything out of the way as he can, as good as his routing is. He's playing like a pro.
And we got one fine day, he got his stuff and got out.
Now he's on to Volcano, which he's going to be rewarded with a Bane Sword and a Power Gauntlet, and then he can go kill Carrie, because he's certainly got the level sword at this point, but it's not the best play here, because it's just going to... Since we know there's not a whole lot that's good here, it's just going to slow him down. It's one of those times where he's just going to be giving time back to SaintVonJester.
No, SaintVonJester has a rough sea here.
Certainly seems like the Grey Sharks have a ton of health. A couple sword blasts and a nuke, and it wasn't even able to take them down.
Yeah, that's some beefy shark right there.
I mean, I like me a meaty shark if I'm feeling some shark soup or something like that. Certainly don't like it when I'm trying for a grind. And then the lovely Wiz-Sahag Art-Sahag pack that, because of the way that the randomizer is programmed, the main game itself is programmed, these are always going to be unrunnables, at least until the devs figure out a way to change that.
Ooh, and the blaze from the Grey Worm doesn't kill anyone.
It hurts. You hate seeing that one red mage down to 27 health. It's not fun. Oh, I didn't realize the X-Cal was in here.
Oh yeah, they found the X-Cal in here.
So that means they have both the defense sword and the X-Cal at this point. Now we're starting to look at a really good item build-out for their endgame, and now it feels like that tail is definitely required no matter what.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be looking for that tail.
Yeah.
But right now they need the key. The key is the big one right now. That and the rod. So there's still quite a few chest checks to make here.
Tyrannix, yeah, Ordeals isn't required if you know what's going on there, because it just needs the Opal Bracelet, but because it's incentivized, more than likely One Fine Day is going to follow in SaintVonJester's footsteps and go there. I certainly agree with your theorizing on that, and see if he skips it to just get ahead, but more than likely I'd assume he's going to check it, because it's an incentivized location.
Those ghosts wiping out one of SaintVonJester's red mages.
You don't need both of them, it's fine. Honestly, if he doesn't make it through this dive and he has to do it a second time, Sky is not the worst thing to have to dive again, as long as there's not any really good treasures, which, so far he's mostly found potions and housing and money.
Yeah, it hasn't come across anything of any regular value at the moment.
Not for someone who's just trying to build their end game and go.
So I think I'd check the Starknado chest, and you might as well try Kraken while you're here.
Those lobsters were able to take an entire nuke and not even flinch. you don't want to see lobsters be that beefy.
All he needs a pot of water. All he needs is a pot of boiling water. Lobsters are fine.
Pot of water, some cheddar biscuits, a little slice of lemon, good to go. Another one of those worms is giving the Dan party the business.
Yeah, and they're unrunnable too, so that's pretty dangerous right there.
But
and we got Sharknado room check. Money, money, money. So it looks like the Kraken side of things was pretty much a bust.
It was a bust, but if he goes and fights Kraken, it'll all become a wash in that respect. I was going to note, though, that Dan with the question mark over on the volcano side did show us the power of Quad X, because once you got that Grey Worm low enough, the worm low enough, you just blast Quad X at it, and it kills it, and it's an insta-kill no matter what.
Well, you have to try Kraken now. You're committed this far, you might as well, instead of just exiting out.
Yeah, totally.
You gotta give him a shot. I mean, if you wipe, well, you know you can just go mode this and come back in when you got better levels.
Well, when you're this far into it, it's actually faster at this point just to go to Kraken, fight him, and die than it is to try and walk back out.
onefineday gets his power bonk and nopes out.
Looks like he probably died to something.
No, it looks like he just reset. You see the power bonk on screen and he just reset.
Oh, he might have been trying to save charges and keep his one Dan up. Because he was down to 2 characters, and if he wants to go do carry, get the Bane Sword, get the Power Gauntlet where he knows they are, and then just run.
I mean, with his levels, with 1 red and a fighter, he probably could have taken down... Oh, he was down to solo red mage. I think I would have tried carry.
He wants his party members back up, and he only wants certain treasures, I have to think.
We know carry was paper thin, so...
Yeah, he'll have a good time here. And this armory does have a ton of good stuff in it. There's no question about that.
But at least now he can avoid... Well, I was saying he could avoid the trap tiles, but if you want the X-Cal, you need to fight this Grey Worm.
We've got SaintVonJester coming up against Kraken. He's getting some buffing going on. Getting the Bane Sword out, see if he'll take out Kraken. Not on the first one. Kraken's showing the thunder. Bringing the power. More defense charges. Another Bane Blast, hoping to take out Kraken. Shrugs off the second one. Kraken comes back with the Blaze. Like, you're gonna come at me, I'll
fast your fighter.
Yep.
You better put the fast on your fighter before you lose that red mage.
Gets a heal 3 out to buff him up a little. Another defense sword. Fighter is now completely safe from any physical attacks, but so far Kraken has no interest in physical attacking. Third Bane Blast does nothing. Power comes out. Hold doesn't hit. Another Power Bomb. Kraken comes out with Ink, that's a free turn. Bane Sword comes out, that's the 4th time. Another fail on that Bane. Powerbomb. Another heal 3 to get his party back up a little further. Kraken whacks and misses because that fighter is fully evaded. 2 hits, 298 damage. Try and get that fast out, guys, come on. Another Bane, another miss. Fire 2 doesn't do much of anything, it's just chip damage right there. 2 hits, 189.
See, here's the problem with
Finally got this fast out. Blizzard starts to do damage again, but the fast comes out. 6 hits for 533, that's much better. Bane comes, Bane misses, Bane doesn't really matter. Red Mage goes down, Fighter blasts again, 6 hits for 470, and Kraken is terminated. Takes Gene all the way up to level 18.
And that gives him his 2nd orb lit.
It's up 2-0 right now, but onefineday will have one of his pretty soon. He's got a good advantage coming into this right now. It's a solid lead he's built up, but he doesn't save and he takes a step. I hate taking a step like that early because you never know if you're going to get an encounter right off the power cycle.
Looks like he might be going back for the mermaids here.
I think he is. He's still looking for the rod or the tail or the TNT, something to lead him to further progression in here because he needs to get that Earth Cape cleared out as soon as he can.
He does have the herb though, so.
It's true. But there's still 1 loose floating around at least, so.
And with Sky left to go, I'm unsure if I'd make this mermaid dive. I'd be more tempted to go to Sky and check my herb.
I mean, you and I are both all on board and go to Sky when you get the chance because the levels are good. Not everyone in this tournament is on board with that, and, I mean, they made it into the tournament and I didn't even try, so in this particular instance, I'm gonna assume they know what they're doing. So while we're here and we're watching these guys go through the motions, One Fine Day is about to go take out Carrie, and SaintVonJester is going to hit the mermaid side. I want to remind everyone to give your runners a follow. These guys are doing great work to entertain you. So remember to follow SaintVonJester and One Fine Day. And if you, of course, want to throw follows to Speed Gaming as well for being so nice to host us, I think they'd appreciate it. Meanwhile, of course, also throw follows to our lovely tracker, Tyrannix. He's doing a great job there behind the scenes for us. And, of course, my co-commentator, the Hangry Canuck, as well. Thank you for coming and joining in with me at last minute on this one, dude. I really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. I wasn't gonna let you go at it alone.
I know I told the guys behind the scenes that I could do it, but I certainly appreciate having someone to talk to, because it just makes this a whole lot more entertaining.
Well, we're doing this again tomorrow night, aren't we?
I believe so. I think we're on the same one for the Falconic versus... Who's he playing tomorrow?
I don't remember, but I know I signed up with you on the one tomorrow.
I'll double check it. I want to make sure everyone knows what's going on.
Tyrannix at Shadow Walker. That's gonna be a really good match. Both runners are really good. It's gonna be really even. Now we got Jester hitting up the mermaids.
Okay. So, looks as though...
And there it is.
Falconic
now
is
the tail is irrelevant.
Falconic versus Shadow Walker. That's what we're looking at for this one. So that's going to be awesome.
And Tyrannix is telling us game 1 of their match is going on as we speak on SG4.
That was the next thing I was checking out right now. Over on Speed Gaming 4, it started at 7:30. Falconic is going up against Shadow Walker. Obviously, right now we have One Fine Day versus SaintVonJester, game 1 of that as well. Later on today, starting actually right now, 5 minutes ago, Spellzat versus Minochi. That one is going to be a vodcast. You'll be able to pick that one up later over on YouTube. And Tarnan versus Dangwu over on SG6 also started just 5 minutes ago.
But there's the dragon armor too, so now that flips the coin. No key item though, so... But this was a good dive. Mazmun, dragon armor. Yeah, well worth the dive.
Over on Mermaid side?
Yippers.
I was looking away trying to find the sketches. So those are great, and the second he finds the tail, that dragon armor is going to be great, but the Mazamoon is great right now, since any class, anyone can equip that.
Yeah, it was in the it was actually in the incentivized chest where the slab would be vanilla.
If that chest were incentivized and the Mazamoon were in the pool, but we've had 2 chests with 2 quote-unquote incentivized areas. That's really confusing for this. See, figure out your business.
Hence why we checked the flags.
Really had... What were the seeds for this? Come on, guys.
Well...
Did they click some random stuff?
I do believe this is a production of our fine restreamer, Corrido.
So SaintVonJester, I think, is finally flying over to Elf Palace to go turn in that herb and wake the very sleepy prince. Although, is the doctor there? I can't remember. Yes, he is.
That was his check earlier. Smart check. And there's the tail.
Well, that's an easy turn-in at this point. I'd go do that before I do anything else.
So now SaintVonJester is in control. One Fine Day is up in the Sky Palace, and up in Mirage though, so...
So if you're enjoying what you're seeing and you want to see more of it, we invite you to go check out Final Fantasy Randomizer. That's, of course, FinalFantasyRandomizer.com. You can join the communities on Discord, because we've got links right there. Go check out all the cool stuff that's going on. And, of course, play the game, which you can get your own randomized version of the game right there easily on the website.
Well, I have a feeling now SaintVonJester is going to go Sky too.
He really doesn't have any options at this point. There aren't that many dungeons left.
Sky is all that's left, and...
Yeah, it's that or an ill-advised...
He almost has to be in here.
Yeah.
Or, well, something that leads to the key.
Yeah, because it's that or an ill-advised Earth play, which we already know isn't going to lead to anything. So whatever is in Sky, it's got to be in Sky. SVJ spending some time really getting his stuff organized.
So, yeah, it's gotta be the Rod key by elimination. I agree with Terranex. So, SaintVonJester right now is almost in... He's in no mode. I wouldn't say it's go mode, he's in no mode. He knows that something in Sky is gonna lead to the last item he needs for go. And we'll get our... Oh, an Aegis Shield pickup for One Fine Day. SaintVonJester will like that.
Yeah, if he goes to Sky next, that's going to be an automatic pickup for him because he's going to do the searching there. It's really, what we're looking at right now is Rod leading to an incentivized... Well, no, we already checked what would be the incentivized chest in Earth. And there wasn't anything there, it's just that the Rod is required. So yeah, Rod could lead to incentivized Sages that could have the key, or the key could lead to an incentivized Rod and Marsh. Or either one or the other of these could be TNT that leads to either of those, and something else could lead to the root.
And let's hope these fine gentlemen remember where that loot's at. Because I've done that. I've went into Topher before when the loot was a vendor item, and then you get there and you can't go past the plate, and you're like...
Well, I noticed that our tracker has already lit up the loot over on SaintVonJester's side, so I'm going to assume that they noticed when we didn't that the loot was picked up. So that's one less thing we have to worry about for him. He really just needs to find whatever this loose item is, and he's here in Sky doing all the same checks that One Fine Day is doing. So he's going to find all the great treasure that One Fine Day is finding, and eventually he's going to have everything he needs.
Yeah, once he finds this last loose item, he's go mode. He's not even going to check another chest. He's just going to fly through everything. Because you got the X-Cal, you got the Mazza, you got 2 fighters. I mean, you're set.
SVJ didn't even care about that black shirt, which, considering how deep into the game he is, I can't blame him for that. Doesn't have anyone to equip it on, and Ice 2 really isn't that useful at this point.
No, the black shirt's normally a good early game item if you don't have a black maid.
Well, and he already has the mage staff because he got that from Volcano. It's not an essential item to have the ice cast at this point. Because anything low level he wants to save his charges on, he can just blast the mage staff on it first, for example.
We got One Fine Day taking some rock gall fights here, which is a good idea. Get your levels while you're going through.
Interestingly, while SaintVonJester put all that great armor on that knight, he didn't actually equip any of it. You gotta equip your dragon armor if you want to make it work, dude. Or not. Okay. Another ribbon there, that's lovely to find.
I think that first knight is gonna be eating dirt pretty soon.
Yeah, but it's curious because, well, I guess he has the ribbon on there, so it's not like the dragon does any better protection than that, and the Aegis along with it provides something. It's a weird combination of armor he's put on that knight when you already have dragon and Aegis as well. It's weird. It's just weird.
Yeah, I don't quite understand it either, unless he's gonna go on one fighter. But if you go on one fighter, you'd want to put... Well, I suppose with a ribbon, you don't need dragon armor, I guess.
But with Aegis and dragon and 2 ribbons, you ditch the other gene, and you don't even need to have a 3rd ribbon for that knight, because they're practically protected as it is.
Well, you put a weapon on him. Maybe he just forgot to equip the armor.
Yeah, I'm really confused. And he's looked at it 3 times now, so I'm really confused what he's doing. One Fine Day running from the eyes, that's not something I would do. I know running from a lot of encounters is good, but the eyes are worth a lot of experience, and when you can just find 2 or 3 of them free like this, get the levels.
Yeah, One Fine Day, he has to take levels. He can't be running from easy fights in here.
Single Chimera, single eye, you gotta take those fights, because you're behind. You know you're behind with how long it took to get that floater. Okay, he's taking this one. Good. And I note that his Dans are swinging the Ice Sword and the Dragon Sword. That's fun to see.
Yeah, because he can't use the X-Cal yet, and he hasn't found the Mazmoon, because I don't know if he will find it. I don't know if he will check mermaids, if the loose item is here in Sky, which we think it has to be.
Yeah, if the loose item's here and it leads him on the chain, There's no reason to check mermaids. With the X-Cal and the fact that he's going to get tail eventually, there's no reason for him to go pick up the Mazmoon. The X-Cal's going to be great right up until he has to go up against Chaos. Yeah, I don't think he gets the Mazmoon.
And we have the rod loose in the spider room.
And SaintVonJester is blasting through this.
So I'm guessing now, once SaintVonJester clears and finds that rod, ooh, the O came in with some lit.
They are certainly giving SVJ the business, but if he can get out of this, he should be okay, because he's got Life 2 on his Red Mage. Didn't actually get a chance to see if he has charges, but I'm going to assume he does. He can bring at least one of his party members back. Thankfully, that Gene we think he wanted to kill is dead, so that's something.
I mean, he can two-man this the rest of the way.
With the levels he's at and the equipment he has, no doubt, but if he wants to bring a third one back, he's got the charges.
Yeah, I can't see him bringing them back. I think I'd just two-man the rest of this dungeon. Because once he finds the rod, he's definitely not checking any more chests.
Amazing Ampharos, no, those were definitely okay men, because that's what the title said. They're not bad men, they're just okay. That's one of those fun percent flags that I think SaintVonJester is playing with. We have a lot of fun little amusing things that, like, change the names of monsters, and if you play with it, you can recolor the monsters to do a randomized palette shuffle. It's fun. It doesn't do anything of import. It's just amusing to have.
SaintVonJester threw that Mazmoon down to his Red Mage.
Threw the X-Cal on his fighter, put the Mazmoon on the Red Mage. For a two-man party that wants to save charges, I think that's a good plan. You're not going to have to worry about whether or not things have magical defenses right now and at the point that he's at, because the X-Cal is great about playing on magical weaknesses, and it's only at the late game with Tiamat 2 and Chaos where that stops being a consideration. X-Cal Mazmoon build, that's a good build right now.
So SaintVonJester is about to come across his rod in a few short minutes, and then we'll see if he decides to keep checking or if he's just gonna take off. Well, meanwhile, One Fine Day is on the Bridge of Destiny. So if you guys want to see our Metal Overlord,
Robot Chicken, we pray for thee.
See some Bless RNGs in chat. These red hydras are a good experience as well. I don't know if I'd particularly want to run from them.
And the nacho platter immediately after, that's a great one too. Double nachos. But One Fine Day has no interest in the experience.
Well, he doesn't really have a good weapon, and he's got to save his resources for Tiamat.
Yeah. I mean, I can see it. Oh, Warmac! We got a Warmac and he runs from it.
SaintVonJester got his rod, didn't even check the other chest in the room, and he is in go mode.
Yeah, I think One Fine Day checked everything while SaintVonJester did not. But they were already on slightly different RNG tables to begin with, so it's hard to say whether or not we're going to see a Warmac from SaintVonJester here.
Yeah, well, there's no need for SaintVonJester to check. He's got all the weapons, he's got the armor. One Fine Day doesn't, so he had to keep checking. Yeah, see, SaintVonJester is just go. He's going to go mode Earth, so he's going to miss the white shirt.
He's going to miss the white shirt. I don't think that's the end of the world since he has the defense sword. I think he can make do without.
Yep, Starman, he ran because his resources... he couldn't... I don't think One Fine Day would have been able to take down Warmac.
He doesn't have the swords, he doesn't have the resources, he doesn't have the equipment, he doesn't have the levels. Warmac would have blasted him into next week.
Tiamat's pretty weak.
Tiamat fell down like a sack of bricks. That was nice to see, especially after that kinda tough Kraken we had a little while ago. Tough for, where they're at right now. So SaintVonJester is on the Bridge of Destiny. If we want that robot chicken to show up again, now's the time to pray for it. Now bear in mind, SaintVonJester is ahead right now as One Fine Day flies off, presumably to go do Earth Cave next. But just because he's ahead right now doesn't mean, like, the game is his. He could have a 15-minute lead like he does, maybe, but Topher can easily equalize that if it's a particularly nasty Topher. We have seen plenty of bad Tophers in this tournament so far.
I'd say right now, SaintVonJester is 2 wipes, 2 Topher wipes, 2 deep Topher wipes in the lead right now. But you get a bad Kraken who's hitting for astronomical damage and lots of nuclears. I mean, you could easily wipe 3 or 4 times.
Absolutely. And we did see that SaintVonJester was taking some of those encounters while the same ones that One Fine Day ran from. He took the Nacho Platter and a couple of the other ones. He wanted that experience. He knows he's in go mode at this point with a 2-man party like he has. Now is the time to earn it before he has to worry.
Tiamat fighting back.
Tiamat's fighting back hard. He really needs to get some healing out before that fighter gets knocked down.
He's gotta fast that fighter. He's not fasting that fighter. Oh.
Now he's finally starting to defense buff. There you go. Now you're starting to get some misses. Get fast on your party so you can really blast into him.
No, he's relying on that Bane Sword.
Well, I can see throwing out the charges right now while you get your fighter buffed up. Now he's fasting. Now he's about ready to attack at this point.
At this point, I probably would have switched the Mazmun back to the fighter, though.
I was about to comment that One Fine Day seems to be go-moding Earth, which he might do, depending on what he does. But, of course, he's already seen all these treasure chests, so he really doesn't have to worry about any of this.
And that is SaintVonJester's 3rd orb, and now he's probably heading straight for Earth as well.
He is up 3-2 right now, getting his 3rd orb up at the 1:18:18 mark. I would assume we're going to see a straight go mode of Earth from him.
Oh, he kind of has to. He doesn't really have any other option now. Once he's done Earth, he's ready to go. He'll be ready to go. It depends. I mean, if this, well, Sardinia would probably have to have the key. Like, the old men would have to have the key now.
I was just doing the math on that right now. The rod is going to, the defeated Lich is going to have to lead to something. And it'd have to be the key that would then lead to probably TNT to Ruby, because Ruby can't lead to TNT because we already have all the loose items and no one can have a cabinet at this point. So, Marsh lock is not required, especially since Marsh already was. That's kind of a sigh of relief right there. But the sages are almost guaranteed to have the key. It's either key or TNT, and then TNT leads to key. But Ruby, no matter what, is not going to be... It's just going to be the dead end that they're not going to have to pursue.
Yeah, the Ruby's probably sitting in Keylock Marsh right now.
It's either going to... Yeah, it's either Keylock Marsh or locked behind the TNT. Either way, once you can get that key, you don't have to worry about anything further. It's the end of our chain, basically.
Yeah, the key is the only thing he needs left, and we know it can't be behind Keylock Marsh, so it basically has to be with
it has to be either... Yeah, it has to be on the sages or from the TNT from the old men. There's only 2 possibilities now. As they almost 100% complete this game.
And SaintVonJester is quickly catching up to One Fine Day.
Well, he's got the levels and better equipment, and he doesn't have to check anything just like One Fine Day didn't have to on those early floors. But it really doesn't look like One Fine Day is doing much chest checking at this point. I'd be willing to bet he's just go.
I think SaintVonJester's gonna 2-man this too.
All the way through Earth? Yeah. No doubt.
Well, that vampire didn't last too long.
Hi and bye to the vampire. Lincoln, you miss it. So this is putting SaintVonJester about 1 floor behind at this point.
Yeah.
And while One Fine Day goes off to do this check over here, SaintVonJester is actually probably going to take the lead on this dungeon as well, if he can get away from these undead.
Yeah, that stop there by One Fine Day is probably going to allow SaintVonJester to pass him.
And he is immediately right now. So he's on Lich floor first, although gets stopped by a couple mummies. Neck and neck here on the Lich floor. As we're seeing a race to try and get the Lich first, but remember, this is going to put SaintVonJester 1 orb ahead of One Fine Day no matter what, because OFD still has to go do C after this.
Yeah, he does.
So yeah, that's at least a 5-minute lead right there for SVJ.
Yeah, so SaintVonJester has definitely got a stranglehold on this. It's his to lose right now.
Yeah, he's at least one bad Topher wipe ahead of One Fine Day at this point. And that's not outside the bounds of possibility, but it's SVJ's race to lose.
Oh, it's well within the realm of possibility.
We've seen enough nasty things happen this seed. But 2 swipes from Swords and Lich is already down. That was a nothing.
Now SaintVonJester's going to head right away for Crescent Lake, I would think. And what do you think? TNT or Key? 50-50.
I'm gonna bet TNT. Well, I'm glad the SVJ took notes about where the town was, because I'd already forgotten.
Looks like One Fine Day is already talking to the confused old men, and we're about to see what we're gonna get. The bottle.
I forgot about the bottle. It's the thing with the tracker that we have set up. The bottle is underneath the Oxy Ale. So, okay, so bottle has to lead to either Key or TNT.
Yeah, and we'll see what... Well, the fairy will be released this time, so that's good.
That's good for her. Onrak was at Onrak. Oh! Ale Market is right, we're still also missing the slab. And bear in mind that every single one of these turn-ins has to be somewhere in this. Now, there's a possibility the key could come off from this, and then once you go check Keylock Marsh, you get another quest chain that they're not going to pursue, and honestly, it's in their best interest if they just get the key immediately.
Yeah, if this fairy leads to the key, then Keylock Marsh ain't gonna matter a bit.
No. If she gives out the key, we're done. We're moving on. And
there it is, folks. SaintVonJester is now in complete go mode. Nothing will be blowing up this seed because the TNT is going to sit right where it's at.
Yeah, and One Fine Day is still a couple steps away. He has to get his loot. If the tracker is right, then he's got a couple of other items he still has to do as well to get his full completion going. And bear in mind, he doesn't even have the tail yet. So he's got a few steps away, so that's more than one Topher wipe at this point, considering how much completion he still has to do.
Oh yeah, SaintVonJester definitely has a good 15 to 20 minute lead here.
Yeah, and Talfon, you're right. The Marsh lock at this point is going to have either TNT or Slab, and then whatever that one is would lead to the other one of the two, and Ruby is going to be the end of that quest chain, because Ruby can't have either of them locked within it, because all those chests there are loose chests, and we already have all the loose items. No matter what, that is 3 items we don't need.
Looks like SaintVonJester is going to stock up. He brought his party back to life. He's going down with 4 full members. And we should be seeing a dive into Topher very short. One Fine Day is about to pick up his loot.
Now, if my count is correct, SaintVonJester is at 15 or 16 key items, so that puts him in the spot where he's getting his bonus experience at this point. Anything that he decides to do at this point is going to be worth 150% more than it was before. He's in a good position to go do a dive here. He's in a good position if he wants to grab a couple of levels. No matter what he does, the world is his mollusk at this point.
Good little point by Terranex as well as Talfon. If One Fine Day Go Mode C, which we believe he's going to, he is going to be stuck with Ice Swords going down to TOFR.
Yeah, and that's the question, is he could go, just do C, go get his key and be done with it if whenever he turns in the bottle to get the key. But one, he has to think to go turn in the bottle first and not do any of the other turn-ins. And 2, he has to want to be able to go do Topher without the tail and all that good equipment. Wait. Okay, he's already turned in the bottle. He has the key. But now he has to decide if he wants to go do everything else without the tail.
Yeah, he's way more than 5 or 6 minutes behind SaintVonJester. Like, he might be time-wise to get to the same place, but One Fine Day has no chance of clearing Topher at the moment.
So yeah, he's got a few things he has to do first, and the order he does it in and what he decides to do afterwards is going to dictate how far behind he is. Right now, he's at least 5 minutes. Could grow to 10 or 15, depending upon the checks he does and the order he does it in.
Well, if he doesn't remember Sarda and get his canoe, well, he's gotta...
Cardia.
He's got nowhere else to go.
Oh, and that's right, he hasn't found the third loose item yet if he hasn't been to Cardia. So, how many chests does he check here along the way? That still leaves mermaids in play for him. This isn't a Gomo check for him, although he doesn't check all the chests there. He might be banking he's gonna find it on the way. It's risky. One Fine Day is playing risky, but he knows he's got to be behind at this point.
Meanwhile, SVJ is coming into some unrunnable blue dragons here. Or white dragons in his case.
I do hate seeing unrunnables in Topher. You never want unrunnables. Oh, and these worms are unrunnable as well, so both worms were unrunnable. But
this is a good fight.
It is. Great experience. And that was what I was going to say. You hate seeing it, but at the same time.
I mean, he's got 2 fighters, one swinging a Mazza, one swinging an Excal, so he's got the power to take them down.
Whirling blades of death, as I like to put it. And I think he just got 24 on his Masamune wielder, so he hit that break point. He is in golden position right now to finish this out.
Oh, jump by some Gurmedusas if they have something bad, maybe. Come on, Nuke. Come on, Nuke.
I know. After that awful Gurmedusa of death scene we saw between Lil Cleosis and Tristal, I am always worried when the Gurmedusa ambushes. Thankfully this time they didn't seem to have any spells, and they didn't have Death Touch, so... nice.
One Fine Day is about to take out Kraken here with some nukes and some attacks, so we'll see if he decides to go dig out the mermaids.
Meanwhile, One Fine Day is at Kraken, throwing out his nukes, getting his damage in. Kraken had a decent amount of health, but I don't remember him being that bad. Like, he was tough for a Kraken, but it's Kraken 1, so a party at the level he's at. When Kraken decides to cast Dark, that's a free turn.
Respecting the Lich here, healing up.
Well, you hate wiping the Lich. I give him just enough respect, but I'd still go blasting into all my swords. One Fine Day lights his 4th orb, so now he just needs to decide whether or not he wants to go get that tail. That's all he's looking for at this point.
Lich with Bane wiping out Jean. But he basically doesn't need that red wizard at this point now.
He'll revive it when it's necessary, but right now it's not necessary. I do this too. When you're between fiends, I just don't bother rezzing my characters. I just wait until they're actually needed, which is the fiends themselves. You want the meat shield. But it depends on how much respect he gives to Carry too, about whether or not he wants to waste those light charges at all.
Well, you kinda have to. I mean, any of these fiends could have nuclears, nukes. I mean, it's not a free fight.
Not a gimme, and that's very true. And these Agamas really love throwing out Toxic. A lot of unrunnables, a lot of ambushes, as Talfon points out.
See where One Fine Day is sailing to now. Seems to be on his way to somewhere.
He's got to get back to his airship. He had to take the ship to go over to Onrak because he doesn't have the canoe. So I think he parked his airship at the Ryukon Desert so he can get his ship back to the dock there.
Carry hit pretty hard, but went down to a Mazmoon swipe.
So we're at that decision we were talking about at the start of this game, of do you go without the tail or do you just go straight to Topher? And from the direction he's going, I get the vibe he's going to go straight to Topher. That's risky, but if you're feeling behind, that's the play to make.
Yeah, I mean, he's got no choice now, really. He knows he can't waste time going for other stuff, because he's got to figure SaintVonJester found this airship way early. But
Yeah.
I don't like One Fine Day's chances.
Not with the build-out he has. Like, I fully understand the choice, I respect the choice. I think if I was in his position, there's a 50-50 shot I make the same choice. But I'd hate it the entire step of the way, you know?
I mean, he's going down here with ice swords.
Okay, so it looks like SVJ is getting prepped for the first of the really awful fights that we're gonna see here, potentially. Our Master of Arms, Kraken 2, getting some bonks up, getting some blasts out, defense, power bonk, fast. Kraken comes out blazing again, just like the first one did with another round of blaze, and then one of our Genes throws out a nuke. Gets almost 400 damage off of it. Coming in for a second round, Basmoon Swing, 8 hits for 883 damage. That's a huge hit. That was awesome. And then
Kraken's over 1,000 HP at the moment.
Yeah, not a Thunder. Kraken 1 had Thunder too, so these guys are mirroring each other. Gene comes in with another defense bonk again. I think top Gene's just going to be there in case Kraken decides to attack, which Kraken's more than likely going to go after that guy. And a nuclear! Wow! Kraken has everything, but not enough health to survive that extra sword hit for 390 or 639, and Kraken is down. Now it's time to heal.
Now here's the killer. That Kraken had over 1,000 HP. One Fine Day is not going to be able to do that much before that nuclear comes out.
Lacking the Mazamoon, lacking the ability to use the Excalibur he found, or swing the defense sword he's got. That is huge. So, defense sword from Gene again, gonna do his meat shield dodging effect. Fast comes out, then Tiamat throws out a damage poison. Power bonk is out, and then a temper on top. And that's the first round of defensive bonking that we got going on. So Lit 3 from Tiamat doesn't do nearly as much as the power or the poison, but it does take out one of the red mages. Defense bonk, another temper, and a sword blast for 10 hits for 1345, and Tiamat is immediately wiped from the planet. That was an amazing hit.
Yeah, I agree with Talon on this one. This was the play One Fine Day had to make, but it's not going to be
And this is
super
one of those cases,
chance to.
Yeah, it's one of those cases where you're like half praying that Chaos is terrible, and yet at the same time, you don't want Chaos to be terrible because you want to be able to take them on. So it's like you want the RNG to be in your favor for Chaos to have skills, but only use them against your opponent and not yourself. So Temper comes out against the bottom Gene, followed up by a Fast, and then a Power Bonk. He's going to be nice and ready, and the top Gene goes with the Defense Sword. Chaos comes out swinging, 345 against the first of the two Red Mage Genes, and that guy is gowned. He is on the dirt, kissing ground. 7 hits for 122 from the bottom Gene. That's not a lot. He's going to have to keep upping. Temper comes in. 216 damage against that second Red Mage, plus Sleep Touch. That Red Mage is out for right now. Chaos tries to take out the top Red Mage. Doesn't do anything. 7 hits for 600 damage from the bottom Gene. Another defense bonk comes out. Temper up again from the now awake one. Red Mage, stop, doesn't do anything. Another hit from the Mazamoon, 6 hits for 651 damage. And then follow up of 2 hits for 2 damage. That was fun, but doesn't really do much. Lit 2 comes out, barely does anything, everyone's still alive. Another hit from the Mazamoon, 3 hits for 394, I believe I saw, and the Temper Charge coming out as well. Another round of Lit 2, Chaos is feeling very shocky right now. 4 hits for 372, Chaos is still standing. Chaos has got to be on the ropes at this point. 5 hits for 494, 5. Ice 2 comes out, chip damage, not going to do anything. Wait, attack. 7 hits for 746. And then Chaos decides to take out the second Red Mage. You're not allowed to have casters, no. 3 hits for 192, come on Chaos. And then Lit 2 charges as well, we're almost there. 5 hits for 416, and that's going to do it right there. That is a terminated for Chaos. And SaintVonJester has already cleared his timer, so I can't see how far it is. Based on where One Fine Day is, 1 hour, 36 minutes, and let's say 5 seconds, GG's to SaintVonJester for taking the first of 3 rounds of this matchup. That was massive. Oh, wow. So, Canuck, what did you think of that fight?
I think it was pretty good, but I'm pretty sure One Fine Day wouldn't have been able to take him down. But he's on Kraken's floor already, so...
SVJ, there you are. GG, good sir.
That floater. Oh my god. That was the win. I know that was the win. I feel it.
That was. One Fine Day is about, I would say, 5 minutes behind you, but he got the floater, I would say, like 15, 20 minutes after you did, and he hasn't gotten half the key items you did. He doesn't have the tail. He's doing a very risky play right now in there, but what made you go and do that floater?
I talked to Will Cleosis, and he gave me some good advice, and I was like, you know, I didn't find a canoe, I didn't find the ship, I didn't find anything, so I'm like, okay, we're just gonna go. Okay, got the ship, yay. It's right there. I'll have the information. If, like, you know, if something's not there, then it's like, okay, that's 5 minutes, right? You know, I'll have all the information, don't have to go dive that, and I was like, I just checked it, I was like, floater. Huh. Run. So, and I did.
Yeah,
it was just... Yeah, it was just I talked, you know, we did the research and stuff like that, and it was a risky play. It was bold, and it was not something I enjoy doing, but I'm like, that's if something's there, if anything is there, I have the lead, if anything. And the floater was there, so
we actually went and rechecked the seed to make sure we didn't do something wrong.
Oh, that's good. It was in the incentivized chest.
It was. It was like, what are you doing finding an incentivized item in the non-incentivized chest? That was crazy.
Yeah, I was just, like I said, it was a risky play. I know I know One Fine Day, he does not like to do Marsh Cave. He hates it. And I just decided that I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna listen to myself. I'm gonna listen to the advice that was given to me, and I'm gonna do it. And because if something's there, I have a chance. If there isn't, then it's all about execution, and he's way better at that than I am. So, and that's props to him. It's just he's got more practice, he's got more skills and stuff like that. So I'm like, I gotta have some sort of advantage, and
he's just beaten Kraken too, but he's only got one red mage and one fighter standing, and he doesn't have life too.
Yeah, you gotta have that tail. He didn't have the tail, and I was, when I got the bottle, I was like, please don't be the ruby, please don't be the ruby, please don't be the ruby, and it was the key. I was like, yes.
Well,
because
when we did the map, there was no chance that it could be the ruby because you'd already found the 3 loose. That would have required, because you'd already talked to everyone. There was no chance of a cabin still being in the pool. It had to be the one of the items that would lead to something at that point.
Yeah, as soon as I saw a rod, it was like, time to go, and I did, and. Oh, and I was like, I'm sitting there thinking, I'm checking chests. Why am I checking chests? Oh yeah, I need this. No, I don't. I don't need anything. I need to go. I need to go now. And I was like, and that was one reason why I dug out mermaids. It was like I needed something, and I was like, oh, Ma's immune. All right, well if I don't find the tail, all right, we'll just spray and pray and hope. I didn't have Invis 2. I didn't even check. Level 5 magic was probably sitting right there. Yeah, it's
well,
just like
about the only thing that One Fine Day found that you didn't was the white shirt sitting in Earth 2 in one of the out-of-the-way areas.
He must have checked that before he went anywhere else.
Mm-hmm. It was on the play you said about not wanting to go to Marsh.
He's just doing chip damage here to Tiamat. Oh, and Tiamat has nuke.
Yeah, Tiamat not playing around.
No. I mean, his damage isn't bad, but he's limping in here with, what is it, I think swinging the Sun Sword?
Ooh.
Yeah. Well, no tail.
Yeah, that was... I found it, and I was very happy.
Tiamat 2 down. He's making his way. I'm impressed. I didn't give this dive much of a chance, to be quite honest.
He's doing great. I mean, this is what SVJ was talking about. He's got the skill to pull something like this off.
And Chaos, as long as he's got some ribbons, Chaos is not going to hurt him. I went through his entire spell pool, and I was like, okay. Unless he has nuclear, and I'm not aware of it.
He's got 2 ribbons, and he has the defense sword. There's a chance.
Yeah, this 4-pack of unrunnable worms. If they take out the red mage, there goes the chance. Because he's got no offense to take out these worms. He's chipping at them with the black shirt.
Yeah, because this... Oh, there goes that red mage.
There goes the red mage. He's down to his fighter with 151. I
mean, he has to see this through. Because because SVJ is already finished, and it's basically a like play it out, and if not, maybe forfeit, which I would probably do at this point. I mean,
well, the worms can't touch him unless they pull out a spell now. He's fully defensed up. I mean, it's going to take a while to kill these worms, and he's going to get some massive levels off of it. So,
the problem is,
I think you're looking at like what, 12 grand experience off these things, 16 grand experience actually.
Yeah, the problem is that Chaos had just enough spells, and Dan can't peel. So, I mean, it's a war of attrition for him at that point.
Well, if he punches him too, he punched pretty hard, so...
If he can get his defenses up ahead of time, that's not a concern, but the spells are still a concern.
Because we know Chaos did have a nuke, didn't he?
I don't know.
Nuclear,
I know he has a lot. Yeah, he has a nuclear, but that's all. I think that's the biggest thing he's got.
And his fighter's only level 21.
Yeah, looks like Chad is confirming for us that there was a nuclear in the pool there.
And with a Sun Sword at level 21 with a Power Bonk, I mean, it's possible?
It's possible. I didn't see Starman asking if there was Cure 4 on Chaos. I didn't see Chaos cast Cure 4. I didn't see anyone cast Cure 4.
If Chaos casts Cure 4, he's in trouble.
Oh god, yeah.
But let's see it. Let's go one fine day. Bring it home, buddy. Ouch.
Yeah, that's the problem. And Chaos is slap happy.
It's down to 40. One spell now. I mean, there's just no way.
Well, what he needs to hope for is that Chaos stays in this attack loop. Because the only way he clears this is the attack loop.
Looks like he might be in the attack loop.
There's a stop.
There's stop. Didn't.
Oh, you need a 8. No. Oh my god, 3 health. And that'll do it right there. The Ice 2 will finish it. Ouch.
What a good try.
I mean, he got deeper than I thought he would on this one. That was amazing.
Well, like I said, he's really good at, you know, execution. And it's just like, I needed something to be in Marsh Cave, otherwise it would be...
And he has forfeited.
Yeah.
My skill versus his, and he's way better at this game than I am. So...
I mean... I'm gonna argue that point just a little because you've made it this far and you've done a good job to get here.
To be honest, that was luck. I mean, like I said, if there was nothing in Marsh Cave, he would have the advantage, because I would have wasted 5-10 minutes in there.
Well, I'm just thinking because you also made it through the last chance qualifier and the planned race. You did a lot to get here and show off your skills in the process.
Mm-hmm.
So. I think Hangry Canuck's going to try and get OFD in here for an interview. And then we can chat with both of you guys about what you thought about this seed. But yes, GG's to you, sir. That was a great job. That gamble, that was what hinged your win here. But it was a solid gamble to make.
Yeah, I did not know how far he was behind me either, so I was like...
At that point, he was probably 15 minutes behind, but... And if he'd gone and gotten the tail and everything else, he might have remained 15 minutes behind. But by the end of it, he was probably only about 5 minutes or so there. He just wasn't able to finish Chaos.
Yeah, Sun Sword is good, but I don't know if it's that good. Well, you had Temper and Fast super early, so it's just like... It was good. It was good.
Lost his Red Mage to those
No,
worms.
if he would have lost Red Mage, I'm sure he would have beat it. I mean, Chaos, he had a lot of evade, but it wasn't...
He would have had the heal 3 so that he could have kept his party up and it wouldn't have been as big a deal.
Mm-hmm. Okay, looks like One Fine Day is going to join us for a minute.
I know he was...
I'm not sure how he'd get in here. I think Corito has to get him in.
I think he may have already gotten the link from the SG bot, so it's just a matter of bouncing over here. And then I can actually bump him up. I has the power.
How come I don't have the power?
I don't know, dude. I didn't make the power.
You don't have the Sword of Power?
You apparently haven't class changed yet. I'm sorry. Go find the tail. But while we're waiting for OFD to join up, remember to give our runners a follow, SaintVonJester and One Fine Day over on Twitch. Make sure to follow our crew as well, Kurito and Tyrannix, and my co-host, the Hangry Canuck. We are here to entertain you. We appreciate your love. We appreciate your help. We appreciate all that the community does to keep this game going. Talfon making the lovely Captain Planet reference over in the chat. Earth, fire, water, and air, but no one found the heart crystal. That's so sad. That's a version of the randomizer we need to make. 5 crystals.
One fine day saying he didn't get the link.
Okay, hold on.
I think it's because I keep playing Ninja Gaiden 2 before I start racing. I think that's the way I can get the bad out and I can like actually race properly. Well, I played Ninja Gaiden 2 in the last chance qualifiers before I raced it. I got first. I played Ninja Gaiden on the last chance qualifier on the plane race. I got third. I played Ninja Gaiden before I this race, and I got first, and I won.
I was watching you play earlier. I was enjoying watching it while we waited for the race to pick up.
Yeah, I think, you know, like my community's been telling me, it's I get all the bad out when I play these kind of games. It's like, hey, now I'm playing perfectly. Like
okay, I sent OFD the link on Discord. Hopefully he can use it to get in here.
Yeah, I mean, it was all about just that gamble. It was a gamble. If I didn't gamble it, and it would have been bad, or anything else other than a floater, that was good. And like they said, the loose canoe was in Cardia Isles, so that just made me happier. I got the Oxyals.
All things considered, with the amount of stuff that was available to you, there was a chance the key item could be somewhere else, but with chest density and taken into account, I'd say you probably had close to a 50-50 shot of finding something in Marsh.
Yeah, it was either I could have found anything, and I was like, I'm just lucky to find a floater, so that's what I did, and it was a gamble, and it's the only way. Like I said, it was the only way I could attempt to beat him is because I had to make gambles because he's better.
One fine day. Good job, sir. GG's all around. Even though you had a terrible chaos there.
Thanks. Let's see.
So, SaintVonJester made the early play and went to Marsh almost immediately to get that floater. What did you think finding an incentivized item and a non-incentivized chest?
Well, I kind of figured that SVG probably would have went to Marsh first, so that's why I didn't. Because it's well known that I believe there is no Marsh without the key, and people have used that tendency against me and went to Marsh, which usually works out to my advantage, but this time it didn't. I thought about going to Marsh after doing Earth Cave, just because I really didn't want to do Mirage that early, but Mirage had more chests, so I went ahead and did that. Even with the bad route, though, I think there is about 6 or 7 minutes I could save. There were so many mistakes. Trying to walk out of Mirage was a mistake.
Well, that counter table was garbage, too.
Yeah, it was. I was like a few steps from getting out of Mirage. Then I get hit with an unrunnable Saber-Tooth Catman encounter.
Yeah, I had like 5 encounters of that in Mirage. It was just like one step, Catman, one step, Catman, one step, Catman. It was just like, Jesus.
So one fine day, we were talking about your dive here into Topher. How comfortable did you feel going in without no really good swords or anything? Did you think you had to dive to get there? Is that why you went without looking for a tail?
Oh, yeah. If I'm taking that long to get into Topher, I know I'm behind. I cannot even contemplate not rushing Topher as soon as possible. When I play like that, the only hope I have is to rush Topher and hope it's soft and hope my opponent's screwed up somewhere.
Yeah, it was the only play I could make. I was hoping something would be in Marsh, and I lucked out. Like you said, there's like little chance that something's in there. Like this time there was. Next time there may not be anything again. So.
Well, I mean, even then, there's probably 7-8 minutes I could save by not walking on Mirage, not wiping in Volcano. But then I don't know if you did Waterfall and ordeals or any of that because I never did.
I did.
So you got the canoe sometime? I never got the canoe.
Canoe was in the Cardia Isles.
It was just loose.
Oh my! I never went to Cardia.
Yeah, I did Waterfall and Water Palace at the same time, or Water Temple at the same time. Sea Shrine, sorry. And I did both those in unison, and I can tell you right now, one was a ribbon and one was a opal bracelet, so you weren't missing out.
It was nice gear, but it wasn't necessary.
No. One Fine Day had a right play at not doing those at all.
That's not the right play. I should always be checking Cardia, and I should always be doing those incentives before full clearing, even though it worked out for me. So, I mean, I saved time from not doing those though. So you had me beat just probably by not making stupid mistakes like I did.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, one or both of those is going to lead to something. So it was risky that you didn't go there.
Well, I knew at that point that I didn't have the canoe, so I couldn't go there until I had the canoe, and stupid me didn't check Cardia, so I don't know why.
Was that because would it possibly be at least partially because not wanting to double dip Cardia because you didn't have the tail?
Oh no, I would always check Cardia with or without the tail. It's just I forgot because my brain was completely rattled after finding the floater.
Just a little on tilt there at the end.
And Ice Cave was terrible.
Oh god, don't get me started.
Okay, so final thoughts on the seed? Anything else you're thinking of about this? Anything you do differently aside from checking Cardia?
I better win the next two. I better win the next two in a sweep. Or I am going to be very disappointed in myself.
SVJ?
Like I said, I just lucked out on the floater, and like I said, you're a great opponent one fine day, and it's just, I gotta take these risks to have a chance of beating you. So hopefully my next gambles will work out. If not, then GG.
Well, I mean, you shouldn't beat yourself up too much. You played pretty good. 136 in a seed. Yeah, I mean, getting 136 is not a bad time for these flags. I usually get something like 130 in seeds where I clear a good chunk of the game. So,
and the way the seed was laid out, you had to clear most of it just to get everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, GGs to both of you. That was a great run. Honestly, with how close you got on Chaos, that was a really close match overall. I think the chat was entertained, and I know I was. So thanks to both of you for playing this one out.
Thank you.
So with that, we're gonna wrap this one up. Another great match. We're gonna have another. I think we're getting back to back for the two of them later on this week, and then keep sticking around here and stick around in the future for further matches going on for the Final Fantasy Randomizer tournament. Angry Canuck, you want to take us out on this one?
No, I'm good. Everything that needs to be said is said.
Well, thank you guys, and we will see you next time. Thanks to Speed Gaming, and we are out.